What's up? What's up? Still following this Nolan stuff. It's getting crazy. My bad, I forgot to work on the theme song or intro music, but I'll get around to it. Forgive me, guys. Like and subscribe. Let's go. What do y'all think is happening? Who's going to jail?
Nancy Grace needs to fire her producers immediately. And if you don't fire them, please at least suspend them. How could Nancy Grace's producers allow her to do an interview and not know exactly where Nolan Wells' phone is? Especially an interview with Officer Dingbat. Former Officer Dingbat is the last person that we want to give any wins to. If Nancy's producers would have done a little bit of investigative journalism, they would have found out that Nolan's phone is with Christine, his mom, awaiting forensic inspection, dual forensic inspection. I told you guys this yesterday. Nancy, you've been doing a fantastic job covering this Nolan Xavier Wells case, but your producers have let you down. When I'm done reluctantly giving Brendan Tatum a very small win,
Trent out loud. I never saw this guy's channel before. The algorithm is feeding me all the Nolan Wells videos, which is fine. I don't want him to be too hard on Nancy Grace. She's been doing pretty decent, but yeah, let's see what's going on.
I will let you guys know the details of the press conference yesterday that Al Sharpton, Benjamin Crumb, and Nolan's parents held, and also gave us an update on Nolan's phone. But not only did they talk about Nolan's phone, we also have an update on Nolan's autopsy. There has been a ton of developments in the past 24 hours in the Nolan Xavier Wells case. Sit back, relax. I'll tell you everything you need to know, and then I'll hand it off to you, the out louders. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.
Tired of feeling like you're being watched online? With ExpressVPN, be anonymous and secure your data.
Let's talk about the cell phone. Nancy Grace last night had no idea where Nolan's cell phone was. Literally the same day where I told you where Nolan Xavier Wells' phone is. Investigative journalism is very, very important. Before I play you the clip, I want to make something very, very clear. I have a lot of respect for Nancy Grace. I have been following her coverage, and I am very happy, I'm sure like a lot of you are too, that she has been bringing this case onto her platform. Nancy is a legend in this game, and her bringing it to her platform has brought it to a demographic that, for example, myself or even Don Lemon can't. She brings it to a white demographic, let's just call a spade, and Nancy comes from mainstream media like Don Lemon, but she's coming from a white lens, and I think it's really great. I do not fault Nancy whatsoever for making this mistake with his cell phone. When you are at the status that Nancy Grace is at, 20, 30 years in this journalism game, you rely on your producers. That is what they get paid the big bucks for. So I do not blame Nancy for this misstep. This is the fault of her producers, and there is no excuse why you should not have this letter. The same way how I had this letter, and this letter I read to you guys in detail yesterday. I won't go into detail again. I'll pin it below if you guys want to know the details. But the simple fact is that Nolan's mom and lawyers have decided that they are holding Nolan's phone for a joint forensic investigation because they do not trust law enforcement. I'll actually play a clip from the press conference that gives us more detail. But let's go now to Nancy and her misstep.
Officer Tatum, where is Nolan's phone? Do authorities have it?
Well, from my understanding, authorities do not have it, and the family have not been cooperating with authorities to give the phone over. According to the testimony or written statement from the lawyer that represents the family, the Nolan Wells family, he had made mention that he's prepared to cooperate, but they have not cooperated yet. Now, I add this. When you look at what Christine said,
Brandon, whoa, you just stated that. It looks really bad for Nolan's family not to hand over the phone. Do you have any independent knowledge they have not handed over the phone?
According to their lawyer.
Okay, shame on the producers. Now, second clip I'm going to play for you is a little bit of Nancy's own fault. Nancy is going to bring in a guest who's an expert with phones, downloads, and data and forensic analyzation of data, deleted data. And Nancy gets destroyed by her own forensic expert because Nancy says, wait a second, we don't even need Nolan's phone. We could just get all the information from the cloud. Well, Nancy, you don't even need to be a forensic expert to say, how do you even know that Nolan backed up his phone to the cloud? And even if he did, you have to know, Nancy, that the actual phone is going to have more information than the cloud.
I don't have to have the phone to know what's on the phone if it's in the cloud. It looks like an iPhone to me. So my argument with Officer Tatum is academic. It doesn't matter if I can get it from the cloud. So Nolan's phone missing. So what? I can download it. I can get it.
Data will exist in the cloud if he's syncing to iCloud and third-party applications. However, having physical access to the phone is where the databases exist that will have the truth on deletion. So you really need to get a full file system extraction of his phone as quickly as possible.
Do you have to have the phone to do the extraction? What about the cloud?
Cloud data is different.
After that second misstep, Nancy goes on to talk about the Godiva dogs. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then that is where she totally gains back her traction and totally destroys Tatum. So good on Nancy for that. That's actually a really long clip, so I don't want to let you guys in on that. And it's literally, I'll just let you know where Tatum is saying, how come Benjamin Crump didn't allow the dogs the sniffing? How come they didn't analyze the boat? Nancy simply just said, excuse me, it's not Benjamin's boat. It's Wyatt's grandfather's boat. So that's just easy. That's why I don't even need to play the clip. We all know how silly former Officer Tatum is when he brings up that ridiculous point about the boat. It's not Benjamin Crumb's boat. So the Cajun Navy offering the dogs to sniff the boat is totally irrelevant. That's why I don't even want to play, because I don't even want to give former Officer Tatum any sort of, momentum with that, because it's a ridiculous point. Benjamin Crump, it's not his boat, and it's not for him to give permission for any dogs to sniff somebody else's boat. Okay, that's up to the police and the investigation. Y'all already know how I feel about the Cajun Navy. Okay, so let's move on now to the third mishap that Nancy brought upon herself, and this one I'm not going to blame the producers on. Nancy brings back the conversation with the phone. Okay, and then while she's bringing back the conversation with the phone, she's saying, anyways, it's not for Nolan's parents or mom or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Why doesn't the police subpoena the phone and just get the phone from her? If it's subpoenaed, if a judge says that she has to hand it over, she'll have no choice but to hand it over. Then Officer Tatum comes back with this response. I don't agree with it, but this is his response. His response is, Nancy, maybe through their investigation and through the autopsy report, perhaps they haven't found any sort of criminal activity, which I'm sure a lot of you don't believe in, neither do I. But let's say they didn't find any criminal activity and he just drowned. They wouldn't need to subpoena and get into his phone if it was a drowning. Keyword if. And he said, and if it was after the, then he said, if their investigation brought about some sort of criminal investigation, then it would make sense for them to go and subpoena the phone. And because we don't know the results of the investigation, we can't assume that they could just subpoena the phone. Nancy stops him and says, wait, hold on. Excuse me. Are you a doctor? Are you a pathologist? Did you run the autopsy? How do you know he drowned? And he's like, Nancy, I never said that he drowned. I said if. And then Nancy goes, do you need me to rewind the tape? You didn't say if. She didn't rewind the tape, because if she did, she would have been embarrassed. I rewound the tape for you guys, and you could see that he said if. Now, this pains me to do. Trust me, I never want to come on here and say that Brandon Tatum is right, ever. But for those of you who follow this show daily, you know me. I'm about facts, I'm about receipts, and it doesn't matter who is right or who's wrong. I'm about the facts. And Nancy, the fact is, you made a mistake and you did not hear him say if. And that we cannot fault on your producers. As much as it hurts me, as much it was, Tatum was right. Oh, I can't believe those words even came out of my mouth.
Nancy, there could be two things afoot. I'm not a part of the investigation, but I can see if they haven't gotten the phone yet, it's because they don't need the phone and they don't want the phone. It's not there of evidentiary value if there is no suspect here. If it was a drowning and there's indications of a drowning, they may not need it, Nancy, so they're not going to go get it. If they need it, they would already had it a month ago.
Stop. Okay, Brandon Tatum, are you a medical examiner?
No, I'm not.
You keep saying it was a drowning. I have responded, are you a medical examiner? You said no. So how do you know what happened other than what you've been told? I don't know what happened. So how do
Nancy,
you know?
Nancy, I have to push back on you on this. I did not say it was a drowning. I gave you two options.
You keep saying it's a drowning. I heard you.
No, I just made mention that they may be investigating it as a drowning. The initial findings, or at least the initial report that came out. Are you going to make mommy do
a playback?
If it was a drowning and there's indications of a drowning, they may not need it, Nancy, so they're not going to go get it. If it was a drowning, and Nancy, I did not say that it was a drowning. I said that they could have.
I'm going to fast forward. I get the point.
And the interviewer asked her, what was your last day with Nolan? And she spoke about Nolan making her, I think it's salmon, made her a dinner July the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, before he went to sleeping over at his friend's house. And I think those are the things that she's starting to think about and maybe pushing the 4th, 5th, and 6th out of her mind. Again, I'm just assuming, but it seems like the reality is sinking in that that Nolan is not coming back. And I feel so bad for her. Anyways, very, very emotional. Elmore got up and he said, again, very stern and less emotional. He said, I want to thank everybody who's been keeping Nolan's story at the forefront of the media and on the news. He's like, I really appreciate that. I have that highlighted here. So thank you to you guys clicking, commenting, hearting, putting praying hands, putting blue hearts. They see this. They see everything. And this is what they want us to do. You guys have heard me say here daily, I take my marching orders from Christine, Ben Crump, Al Sharpton. They want us keeping Nolan's name in the headlines. They want the pressure on Mississippi to do the right thing. So here is once again Elmore coming out and acknowledging us as content creators, and more importantly, you, the people viewing, taking your time, commenting, liking, sharing, hyping videos, because like she trusts them, we should back her. She's saying that for a reason. That's her instinct. And I'm going to trust her instincts as a mother. And the lawyers reiterated that. And another lawyer reiterated and says, it should be done one time. She gave the example of a car accident. It should be done one time, jointly, together.
Has the DA said anything, given any guidance on the joint investigation of the cell phone?
We have procedures that the courts require that we as lawyers ethically have to follow in order to turn over evidence. There's chains of custody. There's protected private information. And we are willing, in fact, today, I'm not doing anything the rest of the day, to meet with the FBI and our person, our expert, to go over that phone. And we've made that clear. So we're ready to do that at any moment.
Just to clarify, what the agreement was that the DA's office, and this is the Jackson County DA's office, as well as our forensic team, and possibly the FBI, were going to together download and examine the phone. So it's done one time with everybody together, right? This is very common in the law. This is what is supposed to happen. We are waiting for the DA to determine the time, the place, the date. Let us know, and we are going to be there with our forensics team and anybody else, but it's done one time, one examination. We're ready for it to happen.
And one of the last questions of the day was somebody asked about the independent autopsy. And we have covered that a bunch of times here on this channel. And I ask you guys, I don't know, 2-3 times a week, where is Nolan's throat? Please reiterate that in a comment section, because they're watching and they look at the comment section. You're going to hear one of the lawyers say that Dr. Roger Mitchell is ready and willing. It's up to the DA to give access to our independent doctor to finish his independent autopsy report. So where's Nolan's neck? So where is Nolan's neck? So where is Nolan's neck? And why can't Dr. Roger Mitchell have access to look at it? Why? And let's say you're okay, we're doing this, we're looking, tell him where it is so he can go. He is willing to join you wherever you are to do the work. And then you act funny like this. It's been since July the 15th that he's waiting. And then you guys want to come and say, how come you guys are online making videos, social media, scrutinizing us? Because you won't let our independent doctor, who is one of the most renowned autopsy doctors in the world, one of the best in the United States, and you won't let him come and see Nolan's throat. What are you hiding? And this is why we're going to continue putting pressure and why we're going to continue asking, where is Nolan's throat?
And I'd asked about the independent autopsy.
We understand that Dr. Roger Mitchell is made himself available at any point that the district attorney's office and the medical examiner will allow him to come. He's ready, willing, and able to go do it.
That's all I have for you folks. Like, it's not a hard question. Where is Nolan's throat? And we're okay with Nolan's mom making the decision for her son's cell phone. And there's no reason why you guys should not be able to have a joint forensic task force looking at his phone. I've said my piece. You guys sound off in the comment section below.
Cada regreso a clases trae nuevos.
I think they already know. I think they're just waiting for more information, more evidence to come out. But I think they already know basically what happened, and they're just waiting for people to talk. They're waiting for people to snitch on themselves. They're doing interviews. But this is not the end. This is not the end. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Probably next time I'll have the theme music. I'm working on it, people. Bear with me. Let's go. Peace out.